Okay, so study with me for my learners test. Okay, so the first thingy, so I'll be doing 4 pages per day until I write. So I'm so happy to document this, and yeah. Okay, so when we're using a light or heavy motor vehicle, okay, so I need to remember whenever we're in a vehicle, right? A public road, all lamps must be, so all the lamps, so everything bright, right? All lamps must be undamaged. So when they say undamaged, it means they must be working properly. And then when they say undamaged, then they said unobscured. Obscured, which means it has to be visible. And then the other thing they said, it must be properly secured. Properly secured, which means it must be in place. In place, and it must be in place and capable. Capable, which means it must work. So which means all the lamps, right, of a car, all the lamps of the car, they must be they must be visible. They must be in place. They must be able to work. And what's the other one? And for undamaged. So that's what I need to remember every time when a car is in a public road. Okay. The headlamps, rear lamps, and number plate must be kept light during the period. So a headlamp. So if you think of a car, there's the headlamp, there's the rear lamp, and the number plate lamp. That must be kept on, right, during dark times, which is sunrise and sunset. Sunrise plus sunset, and sunrise plus sunset, and what is it now? And it must be in unfavorable weathers, right? And it must be able to be seen within 150 meters. Okay, so provided that these provisions shall not apply to a motor which is parked. So this does not apply, okay? It does not apply to a motor vehicle that is not on a public road, because this only applies to cars on a public road. So not on a public road, in a parking area, and within a distance of 12 meters from the light street lamp illuminating the road on which the vehicle is parked. So if it's close to the street lamp that is on and within 12 meters, so which means there is light basically. So Remember, these rules apply to a motor vehicle that is on a public road. So if a motor vehicle is on a public road, you need to ensure that the lamps are on. What are the lamps that it has? A motor vehicle has a headlamp, which is at the front. It has a rear lamp, which is at the back, and it also has number plates, right? You need to make sure that these lamps need to be visible. It needs to be undamaged. It needs to be in the proper place, properly secured, and it needs to be working, right? Capable, which needs to be working. Okay. And then when does this not apply to? When the motor vehicle is not on a public road, when it is by close to a street lamp, which is 12 meters away from the car, and the street lamp is on, and also if the car is parked in a demarcated area. Okay, makes sense. Okay, so the next thing is main beam lights. Okay, so then there's the main beam lights and dipped beam. Okay, so the main beam lights emitting must be adjusted and maintained that it shall be capable of illuminating. So you just need to know that this should be bright enough for 100 meters. This needs to be bright enough for 45 meters. Okay. Then we have parking lamps and rear lamps. Okay, so parking lamp. What do they say about a parking lamp and a rear lamp? A rear lamp. Okay, so a parking lamp, a vehicle may not be driven on a public road with only the parking lamps lighted while it's still in motion. So remember, parking lamps are when a vehicle is parked. So these are not supposed to be on when a car is in motion. Then there's the rear lamp. You may not ride any motorcycle. Okay, you may not drive any motor vehicle on a public road unless it's fitted with the lamps at the rear, emitting a rear red lights. Right? You may not drive a heavy motor vehicle on a public road unless such motor vehicle is fitted with at least one lamp on each side, emitting a red light to the rear. So with the rear lamp, you need to remember that a car is supposed to have a rear lamp while it's in motion, and it needs to be red lights emitting. And with a heavy one, there should be at least one. And then with a light motor vehicle, there should be lamps. It doesn't specify. So parking lamps, they are only for when a car is parked, and they're not supposed to be on while a car is in motion. Main beam is 100, dipped beam is 45. Okay. Then there's stop lamps. Stop lamps, you may not drive a light motor vehicle unless it's fitted with the stop lamps at the rear. Okay, so here's my car. There should be stop lamps at the rear, right? When in use, they must emit a red light, okay, and must be greater than that of the light emitted by the rear lamp. Okay, so there's a rear lamp and a stop lamp. So a car should have both. So this is a red lights emitting, right, lamp on rear. And this is also which one is this? It's also a red light. A red light, but it must be, it's also a red light, but it must be greater, right? It must be greater than the rear lamp. That must be greater than the rear lamp, and yeah, it must be greater than the rear lamp, and A person may not drive a heavy motor vehicle. Okay, wait. And it must visible in normal sunlight at a distance of 30 meters to a person of normal eyesight. So it must be visible in 30 meters. That's the stop lamp. So it needs to be greater than the rear lamp, and it must be 30 meters. So a person may not drive a heavy motor vehicle unless it's fitted with at least one stop lamp on each side and emitting a red light that's intense, of which shall be greater than the light emitted by the rear lamp on the motor vehicle, and shall be normal in normal sunlight at a distance of not less than 30 millimeters to a person of normal sight. When a stop lamp is illuminated, this indicates the vehicle is decreasing speed and may stop. So what does it mean? When a stop lamp is on, they're decreasing speed. And the vehicle is going to stop. Okay. Then, number plate lamp. So then we have a number plate lamp. Okay. So you may not drive a motor vehicle on a public road unless it's fitted with at least one number plate lamp on the rear. So a car is supposed to have at least one number plate lamp at the rear illuminating the number plate. Every letter and figure of the number plate must be visible with at least 20 meters. So where's the number plate lamp situated? At the rear end of the thing, and every letter must be visible and at least 20 meters by a person of normal sight. Okay, so SAB, South African Bureau of Standards. So SAB, South African Bureau of Standards. Okay, so it says that a number plate must not be easily detachable. It must be 30 degrees upright position, position, and each letter needs to be visible. Yeah, whole number plate needs to be clear. And then for a normal motor vehicle, there should be one here and one there. Okay, then we have fog lamps, right? So front fog lamps and rear fog lamps. So no vehicle may be driven on a public road while any fog lamp fitted in such vehicle is lit, except in conditions of poor visibility. So you're only supposed to have a fog lamp when the weather conditions are not good. So that's with snowing, fog, mist, or dust. Then there is a spot lamp. A spot lamp. A motor vehicle may not be used on a public road if it is fitted with a spot lamp, a motor vehicle may not be used on a public road if it is fitted with a spot lamp, which can be so adjusted as to enable a beam of light emitting therefrom to be deflected in any direction. Provide that a spot lamp, which is adjustable, may be fitted and used for official purposes on an ambulance, rescue vehicle, firefighting vehicle, police vehicle, or traffic control vehicle. May be fitted to a vehicle owned by a medical practitioner, veterinarian, and used for professional duties only. May be fitted to a breakdown vehicle or vehicle employed in connection with the supply of electricity or other public essential services, provided that it's used slowly at the scene of accidental or breakdown or for the examination of overhead telephone, telegraph, or power lines. Driving view to the unobstructed. Okay, rear view mirrors. So no person shall operate on a public road a motor vehicle. So if the driver thereof has a full and clear view of the road ahead and to his or her right, left, which the vehicle is in use. So no person shall operate on public road a motor vehicle if the driver thereof has a full and clear view of the roadway ahead and to his or her right, okay, which is not fitted with the rear view mirror or mirror enabling the driver of such vehicle to see in a clear weather, clear reflection or traffic to the rear, provided that this shall not apply to respect of a tractor, which is a motor car, minibus, bus or good vehicle unless it's fitted with an exterior rear view mirror on the driving side and interior rear view mirror. So there needs to be there, and in the center. So there's to be two exterior rear view mirrors and an interior rear view mirror. When he is driving to see clear weather, clear reflection of traffic to the rear, additional exterior rear view mirror shall be fitted on the side. Okay. Then steering gear. So we only have to read for light and heavy motor vehicle. A motor vehicle may not be used on a public road unless all parts of the steering are maintained in a condition which enables the vehicle to be steered safely and efficiently. Turning radius. A motor vehicle may not be used on a public road if the turning radius of each vehicle exceeds 13.1. So that's something to remember. So the turning radius of a steering wheel should not exceed 13.1 meters. Steering gear. Okay, we don't read the motorcycle. Then light and heavy motor vehicle. Every light and heavy motor vehicle used on public road must be equipped with 3 brakes. 3 brakes. There must be a service brake, a parking brake, emergency brake. And then how many lamps? 3 lamps. A headlamp, a rear lamp, and a number plate lamp. Service, parking, emergency. Okay. Okay, hoods. No person shall use the hoods of a vehicle except when use is necessary on grounds of safety. You may not use a light motor vehicle on a public road unless it's equipped with a warning device, which is a hooter, which is in good working order and when used capable of emitting sound which is clearly audible by a person of normal hearing from a distance of 90. So with a hooter, it needs to be audible in a distance of 90 meters. Okay, then emergency warning device. So the driver of a motor vehicle shall give immediate right of way to all emergency vehicles sounding a siren and display emergency warning lights. The following vehicles are regarded as emergency vehicles. So a firefighter, hot, red. Firefighter response vehicle, red. Rescue, red, danger. Emergency medical, red, danger. Ambulance, red, danger. Vehicle driven by a traffic officer, blue. Okay, to a vehicle driven by civil protection, civil, think of land, green. Okay, firefighter, red. Firefighter response vehicle, red. Rescue vehicle, red. Emergency, red. Ambulance, red. Police, blue. Civil protection, green. Okay, then seatbelts. I'm just going to read a bit of the seatbelts, then I'm done. Seatbelts are compulsory to wear when moving forward for children and adults, but it only covers persons 3 years of age and older. If seatbelts are fitted, rear seat passengers must wear such seatbelts whilst the vehicle is driven. A child is defined as a person between ages 3 and 14 years, except when such a person is taller than 1.5. He or she is regarded as an adult irrespective of age. A person older than 14 is defined as an adult. No adult shall occupy a seat in any motor vehicle unless such wears a seat belt. Occupy a seat on row of seats which is not fitted with seat belt unless all the seats of such row which are fitted with seat belts are occupied. Okay, I'm gonna stop there.